Astrology has not led me wrong. Like, I don't miss.
How much cap? Should I wear another cap here? Can astrologists and astronomers see eye to eye? Science versus ultimate giga science right now.
The true scientist versus the fake scientist. The astrologers are fake, by the way.
Astrology is a sham.
You can believe whatever you want to believe in as long as, you know, it makes you happy, doesn't hurt others. But personally, I've just never really understood how, especially since we all study stars, how something that's so far away and that could potentially be gone could affect you when you were born. It just doesn't make sense to me scientifically.
One of the things that they don't account
Your first mistake was saying scientifically.
Yeah. Whoa. Relax.
Whoa, that's a big word there, bro.
astrologers is, as time passes by, there's this thing called precession where the Earth's axis actually makes like a rotation. And these constellations were set like 2,000 years ago. And they still assume that these are the ones that are where the sun is when you are born. And also, you can't split them apart equally because each constellation has different sizes. You don't have the sun in one for 30 days. You just don't do that. And look, let's be honest, you can't divide people into these neat categories. There's almost 8 billion people on this planet. You're going to tell me that there's only 13 categories of what we are?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
That's
I think
fair
sham
point.
is kind of it's a negative word, but from a scientific standpoint, we don't see that there's evidence that we can't make predictions on people's lives based on the positions of the stars.
Can the disagreeers come forward?
Oh, I want to see this. I want to see this. Oh boy.
I practice
boy.
Western tropical astrology. And so the
Bro.
tropical
What?
Yeah, wait, guys, hold up. Wait a minute. She practices Western tropical astrology. I thought she was doing the Eastern Arctic astrology.
Oh
That's my fault.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
My bad.
fault.
I didn't know there were different
bad, guys.
types, bro.
system of astrology goes off of the equinoxes and the solstice. It has nothing to do with the constellations, what you know of astrology in the Western world.
I also specialize in tropical astrology, and that's just one system in astrology, right? There's tropical and sidereal, those are the two systems, and they're separated by 23.4 degrees. It all depends on what
does that
system
mean?
works for you.
I have no idea. How can two things be separated by degrees? What? I'm so confused. I'm
We're
actually.
just-
I want to learn now.
We're just saying stuff right now. We're just saying stuff.
Yeah.
So does that mean you have like a choice or you see what everything means and you're like, okay, I want to pick that one, I want to study that one?
It's based off of what really resonates, right? And you'll know what resonates with
Oh,
you.
yeah.
You'll get this inner feeling through your chakral system, and you'll know right.
There ain't no chakral system. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
alright. It's
what?
gonna be. He's watching too much Naruto, bro. He's getting into the chakras. Ay ay ay.
Way.
Whether you resonate with Vedic astrology or Western astrology depends on whether you're more interested on using astrology for predictions or whether you're more interested on using astrology to understand yourself and validate and affirm the things that you feel in yourself.
You say astrology, meaning that the stars do matter, right? So what part do stars play in Western tropical astrology?
It's not so much being born around the time that the constellation is in a certain place in the sky. You have this chart wheel and it's divided equally in 12 parts. So the rising would be dependent on that wheel, what sign, and not constellation, but what sign, depending on the tropical divisions, is on the eastern horizon. Then the rising is the first house, or it's the cusp of the first house, and there's 12 houses.
How does she talk so much and say absolutely nothing that I can understand? It's like
Yeah,
she's
she's
speaking.
saying a lot of words, but
It's like she's speaking another language. I'm like steadily dropping IQ points every word I
What does
listen
that
to.
mean? Because I hear that, and again, I'm not familiar with it. It just kind of sounds like a lot of
Gibberish.
gibberish. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There
If you
we
think of a
go.
clock, the hands pointing to the numbers is not time. They just represent time. So it's the same when you think of the stars. The planets, where they are in the chart, are not the energies that we're looking at. They're just representations of those energies. It's just the realm of possibilities that the way that you express action in your life could show up.
When we categorize different planets in astrology, it's just to give characteristics on the specific energies. To touch on a point that you brought up, like
Bro.
how can we be here and planets all the way out there, how are they affecting us? Energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? We all
Bro looks like his brain got fried.
Bro left his brain at home. That's crazy.
You know that? Have you seen that SpongeBob episode where Patrick like switches his brain out?
Oh yeah, then it becomes all philosophical when he
Yeah.
like falls off that like coral
This is-
spike thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the cogs ain't working here, bro. It's.
I think
Although
all the
in our
cogs aren't
science
working
classes
there.
growing up. So we're all bits and
That's
pieces.
not
of-
necessarily untrue. This is like essentially you're talking about like kind of conservation of energy and stuff like that, right? But like we live in a universe that, for example, may be infinite.
Yeah.
We don't know, and we never can because we're limited to a specific distance to how far we can see.
I guess what I was getting to is we're all bits and pieces of energy. So everything that exists in our universe is energy,
I
right?
think that we're getting confused with our definitions of energy. I think that's where the like we have a different definition of like more scientific definition of energy, and you guys have more of a
It's yeah,
like a personality, like spiritual, yeah, like that. Like
Yeah,
a
I think there's
spiritual thing.
for science, like they have to be very careful about how they use the term energy because a lot of the times it can get hijacked, or even delving into the world of like quantum physics, they use the word quantum in a way that it's not supposed to be represented as.
My beliefs are supported by science.
Wait.
So-
The astronomer? Why are
What?
the astronomers walking
Wait.
up? What?
Wait, I'm so confused.
I'm so confused. So one of the astrology guys walked up, and one of the astronomers? Shouldn't all of the astronomers walk up? What?
Yeah.
So what the hell is this? Maybe there's more dumb people in this video than we think.
You guys are probably like, astrology is not a science, but it is because it's its own separate field. Astrology has been
Is that the definition of science? A separate field?
Actually, watching YouTube videos is a science. It's its own
Yeah.
separate field.
Wow.
practice
Wow.
that has been used for civilizations.
What is
now,
a science to you? What does science mean to you?
Now, a science is anything that can be applied to the practical realm. I know we were saying a lot of talk about, oh, this is interpretive, or this could be used for predictive measures, but it is something that is practical, right? I have to use math and I have to use other basic science skills in order to pull up a chart. I'm looking at degree placement, right?
I think that fields could use science and still not be science. You could use math and science and it still not be a science. I think
So
science
what's
comes
your
with
degree? I'm sorry,
of
what's
science.
your definition of science?
I think science comes with fact. There's a scientific method, so you start with a theory and then you prove it at the end. Say we randomly discover a new planet in our solar system,
sure.
okay? Will it change what you guys
Absolutely,
believe?
because that would be something that we'd have to sit and try to study. We'd have to conduct research on that planet, just as well as you guys would have to
I
do.
wonder what type of research he conducts on the planets. Do you think this
Yeah.
this dude has a telescope? You think he sends bots to space? I don't.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of research doing.
Or
Yeah.
he looking at a chart made up by some scam artist 1800 years ago. Interesting.
You guys would just be applying it in a different way. So I definitely look at our field as a science.
What's with the other two astronomers?
Are my beliefs backed by science? No, they're not. In fact, it's the opposite.
Bruh.
Most scientists would say that I'm crazy. Do I believe that astrology is a type of science, a soft science? Yes, because I study psychology, I study therapy. There are people who say that therapy and psychology are not sciences. I also think that psychology and therapy are soft science.
Wait, what the hell? How you can... Therapy is backed by science, though. What the hell are you... How it's not
I
comparable.
think what he means is fields like psychology, fields like I guess like like economics or something. They're less consistent. Like it's not like like I feel like in like what she's trying to say is like in science you're like you prove things and they're very kind of
Yeah,
I don't know, kind of like very
factual, I
rigid.
guess.
But something like psychology is like kind of a lot of not a guesses because they have like research or whatever. There's just so many variables going on that you kind of it's not as kind of I guess hard
Yeah.
science versus soft science. I feel like it's more kind of I'm missing the words, but
I think
you get
there's
what I'm trying to say.
that's yeah, obviously like psychology wouldn't be as grounded in facts as like mathematics or something like that, that can always be proven or something. But I think astrology is in a different realm over there. It's not even a
Oh yeah, I'm not agreeing with her by the way.
yeah.
They're not rooted in the scientific method. They are rooted more in the person, in
the-
who that person is, and the potential of that human being and their energies.
But there's a difference there because in
Bruh.
psychology, we could scan the brain and see the chemical imbalances. We could see
That's what I'm talking about. It's rooted in science. There we go.
what's missing. We could see the neurons firing. We could see exact exactly why things are happening, and we could prove that. So,
But you can't
But
always
we
prove
can-
the treatment.
But we can also
The
look at
treatment
a
can't always be
chart. We can also look at a chart and look at how the energies are interacting with a person and correlate it to what is on the chart.
I think energies and like
Well, is that always gonna line up? I don't think it's always gonna line up.
No, what?
The absolute deciliters of copium being used here is nuts, bro. Oh
Neurons.
my.
And
and
I
things
know
like that
I
are
keep using
different, yeah.
energies, and that's also what I'm trying to say. Somebody had to be like, why is that energy affecting me in this way? Somebody had to sit and study these things. A team had to do research on these things.
I don't have science to prove why I believe what I believe. It's just, I've been studying this for 7 years and I've been practicing professionally for 4 years. And astrology has not led me wrong. Like, I don't miss.
Is there a way?
How much cap? Should I wear another cap here? Another cap?
I think
This
you gotta order some more on Amazon just so you can put them on.
I'm
for this
actually
video.
placing an order right now, guys. I'm gonna place an order for some caps. Cause she needs hella cap. You haven't been wrong in 7 + 4, 11 years. What?
Yeah, has she made like 3 guesses in those 7 years? Is her sample size like 2? And she just acts like, I just
Bruh.
don't understand.
Way you can tell if you're wrong or right?
Well, yeah,
in
because
astrology?
I speak to my clients. I never tell my clients, like, this definitely happened for you, and if you don't agree, then you're wrong. I'll say, oh, this could be an indication of this. Is this true? And they'll say yes, or if they say no, I'll say, well, maybe it can be interpreted in this different way. That's also,
Well, okay. So you're basically
Oh, so
saying
you
you can never lose. What do you? What
Yeah. Well,
Oh
it
my
can be
God.
interpreted as anything, so I'm technically always right. Like, dude, shut up. I don't care.
Well, what did you eat for dinner, Connor? It could potentially be chicken. It could potentially be milk. But if it's not milk, then maybe
Yeah,
steak.
just like
I'd say steak.
You just keep, it's like those psychics that go on TV who are like, oh, like I think your grandmother, she's alive. No, she died. Oh, yes, she died. Like,
But she's alive
7 years ago.
spiritually.
No, yesterday. It's like, come on now.
Oh my God, she is the definition of the woman accountability meme right now. And this dude, I can't believe this sunglasses dude is even here, bro. His like brain cells got fried 15 years ago.
also where the interpretive thing comes in, is that it doesn't play out the exact same every time, which is why it can't be pinned down by
And that's why you
science.
can't call it a science, because
Yeah.
it's not reproducible. Science is something that is rigorously tested, and it's stuff that's reproducible. You have to be able to reproduce results. What astrology is interpretive. So you might misinterpret things because it's not really reproducible. Like, you're not gonna always get somebody right. The reason why I didn't step forward for this prompt was because I think it's irrelevant. Like, I think beliefs are different than facts, and I might really believe in God, for example. I might, right? And that's not backed by science.
Science is science, right? So it doesn't matter if I believe astronomy. It doesn't matter what I believe. It just is or isn't.
Okay. So the reason they didn't step up is because they're big gigabrain. I get it. Okay. They're one step ahead. Okay, I accept that.
Celestial objects influence people's mood.
Only if you're a Cancer. All right.
I mean, if I'm driving home, maybe I had a bad day and I see the moon coming up. It's so beautiful. Like, how can that not affect your mood, right?
Yeah.
It's just so gorgeous. I do a lot of astronomy outreach. I show people the planets or the moon through telescopes. Or total solar eclipse that we've seen, we were all like in tears. It was just so beautiful. So yes, definitely things that happen up there.
Bruh cat cries over a circle. Bruh. I'm sorry. I probably triggered somebody in the comments, but come on, it's a circle, bruh. Chill.
Effect.
You know how the moons affect bodies of water, right? The closer the moon is, the higher the waves are. The farther away it is, the lower the waves are, right? That's why we have tides. Kind of, sort of, right? But we're made up of 70% water. The moon in astrology talks about our intuition, our feelings, our emotions. There are so many other planets and celestial bodies that are definitely doing that. So I'm so happy that you said yes, because it is definitely true.
I'd love to know what you think about the correlation between the 28-day cycle of the moon and the female hormonal cycle.
There must be something there. I'm not an evolutionary biologist, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer rising, so I feel the moon, and I know from personal experience that, yeah, planets affect the moon.
She feels the moon? What?
I don't know. I can't even begin. I don't know.
Wait, is that actually a
I
thing?
don't
I haven't studied the science on this, but does the moon affect your cycle? What? That can't be right.
I don't even know, if I'm being honest.
Somebody tell me in the comments. This woman is brainwashing me. I can't tell if she's being real, if anything's based in science. My brain cells deteriorating rapidly, bro. After this video, my IQ's just dropped completely, bro. Maybe we won't upload because our brains is fried now.
Yeah.
I'll have to say I really liked your interpretation of that. Because the moment that you stepped up, I was like, okay, I know what's coming. I know what it is, because I do agree on that. I mean, look, Mars is really far away. What is Mars gonna do, like, to my mood? It just doesn't. Even the gravitational force that we experience between planets that are further away it's really nothing.
Can I ask what makes you say that with such certainty?
Because I do physics, and so I know
yeah.
how gravity, like the force of gravity works.
Sure, but we have plenty of anecdotal, I guess you could say, evidence.
She said physics and she said anecdotal. You can't make this up, bro. Oh, nuts.
Yeah, there's just no way that they're gonna win a debate against scientists, especially when most of the questions.
You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. She might walk away thinking she's the smartest person on planet Earth, bro.
Well, the thing is, if you believe something, right? Mm-hmm. You already believe it. And then the thing that I really have to mention this, like the thing that you mentioned about the correlation between women's periods and the moon is moving away from us. So eventually it's not gonna orbit in the same in the same way. And so what then?
I think there's a big thing right now that we're using between correlation and causation. I think that's another big divide that we're seeing right now. Like when people are like in a mood or like they're really happy and they go outside, they're like, oh, there's Mars or the moon is full or whatever. That doesn't make sense to me, where people can kind of not blame their behavior, but associate it with what's happening. Like, there's a correlation, but we can't see the causation.
She's so sad right now. Oh my god. Listen, correlation is causation. We've established this in our previous videos, okay? Please.
Yeah, every single time it is always correlation and causation.
That goes back to my my argument that I posed earlier about how energetically things are affecting us. We're affected by this energy, even if it's so many light years away or if it's right here in front of us, right?
Okay. Now, what if I were to tell you that, let's say, Betelgeuse is what is it, like 400 light years away, 600 light years away? If we saw Betelgeuse go supernova, right? Some astrologers might say, oh my gosh, that's affecting us. That happened 600 years ago.
Right.
So why is it affecting me now? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything that you see, like if it's something that's 4 light years away, you're seeing it as it was 4 years ago.
Right.
Not as it is today.
I only can go off of
Damn,
planets
good
that
point.
are actually like in orbit, like the moon, the sun, our basic planets, including Pluto. Those are the only things that I really focus on.
So let's just go back to Mars and say Venus, right? Because Mars has all these like really rough and angry qualities or whatever.
You're learning. You guys are learning.
Yes. And Venus has all these beautiful.
Oh god, she successfully dropped her IQ. Oh my. Mars is rough? What?
Calm and peaceful qualities. But what if I were to tell you that if you were to go into Venus and sit there, you wouldn't even make it because the pressure would just destroy you. So how is that peaceful? And what is that like? Where does this come from?
There are no good and bad planets. I just want to let there's a highest expression and there's a lowest expression. Mars is not evil. It can represent aggression. It can represent anger. It can also represent action and motivation. Venus is yet love, relationships, beauty.
This is based on what, like, was it Greek gods or something? Like, I don't know. Like, why is Venus the planet of love? Mars is.
I also don't even know.
Yeah, Mars is like war, I think. I have no idea.
It can also be manipulation. Like there's no, oh, this is a bad planet, this is a good planet. Like there's levels here, there's duality, there's highest expression, there's low, I just wanted to, cause like, me and the planets, like they're my people, so like we just got,
We homies, bro.
I believe in zodiac signs and their predictions.
Oh no. Oh no.
I definitely do believe in zodiac
no.
signs and their predictions
Bro.
and what they could bring. And it all depends on how you're tracking the energy, how you're also communicating whatever it is that you can get from the energy to a client. That's basically what my job is as an interpretive astrologist.
This guy should be
Why does
locked
it
up.
matter?
This guy should actually be locked
Matter
up.
when your parents did each other, bro. That's what I don't get.
I think he's a harmful to society. Like the more like he's collectively reducing everyone's IQ. Like all your IQs are lower now. This is ridiculous. This man's a hazard. He's a hazard. Okay, I'm kidding, by the way. Just that was a joke, YouTube. But just saying, this is ridiculous.
To break down what I see on the chart and to communicate it in a way that you would understand.
I just like was hesitant about coming up with predictions
It was that word,
because
prediction.
it's the word predictions. I'm not of the belief that astrology is necessarily a science because I don't consider myself a scientist. And
You better not.
astrology is such an interpretive practice that using astrology as a predictive tool sometimes does more harm than good. It can create a lot of anxiety, and sometimes it is inaccurate. You're going to get human error in some sort of interpretations.
I have a lot of friends and a lot of people around me who believe in astrology. But my thing is, I've had so many of them be like, what's your star sign? So I always tell them, well, guess, what do you think I am? And then it always ends up being wrong, or like I'll finally tell them afterwards and I'll be like, I'm this. And they're like, that's so Virgo of you. That doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I don't personally believe in those star signs. I know that you guys discussed that, but that's why I don't disagree with what you guys said. But that's why I disagree with the prompt that was read out.
With sun star astrology or sun sign astrology, that's where it can get carried away. It's actually the rising that's most important because that starts your chart.
What the sun represents is our own sense of self. And when you first meet someone at a party, how much are you going to be able to know off the bat from your first impression of them what their sense of self is?
Exactly.
What I think
What?
is that because
How did a
we
party
live in a
come
world
into
where we
this?
don't know people at all. If you have a way to be able to
I'm
somehow describe who this
struggling to
person is when
follow.
you just first meet them, it makes you feel safe. And that's why I feel like, a lot of people take to astrology.
People, like, they think astrology puts them in a box. Like, oh, you're a Capricorn. This is the only way you can behave. This is the only way you can act. It's like, no. Astrology is very much about the possibilities, not necessarily this is what you are, this is what you do, this is how you act, I don't like you. No, it's just like this is what could possibly happen. This is the expression you could possibly take.
Would you say that everyone has, like, all possibilities are available for everybody?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
And to a certain extent, even if you are,
Okay.
like, say, a Virgo sun, your Virgo sun could be affected by a certain relationship with, say, Mars. So it's not like you're just this and you can only be this.
Bro,
No.
these are the most brainwashed people on the planet, bro. This is like flat
Yeah.
earther level at this point. What are they even
Yeah, I don't even know what to
saying?
say.
They've been talking for 18 minutes and I don't know what they said.
You've got this, you've got a sprinkle of something of this. It's people don't like me putting in boxes, which makes sense, but that's totally not what I don't think what we're doing.
It does, though, kind of sound like you're still compartmentalizing
Well,
things.
to the point of like there's 7 billion, 8 billion people in the world, how can you categorize them in these boxes? But the deeper that you go into astrology, the more nuanced it gets and the more personalized it gets.
the other side doesn't fully understand the study of celestial objects.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This dude always walks up.
Dude, he's always causing problems.
Bro.
I'm so of two minds about this. You guys are doing something that's very scientific and practical in what you're studying. But just because something isn't
But-
practical or scientific, you can still study religion, you can still
But-
study the Bible, the Torah. I don't even think it should necessarily be equated.
They have good teachings, though. What good teaching does astrology have? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm gonna lose my mind.
Study.
Yeah, it's also
Or,
like
astronomy.
You can learn a lot from religion, just from the teachings they have, and just like how to better yourself as a person, how to treat other people. I mean,
Also, you're not taking that as a scientific test. Like, this question was like, are you like, does the other side not study correctly or understand it correctly? The scientific people obviously understand like the planets correctly, bro. Like, they obviously got it. Like, you can believe that there's more to it or whatever, but that's not really the question.
I mean, you can argue
I don't
that,
know.
you know, science gets proven wrong every like 100 years or something new comes out, but as of what we know right now, they're right, you know.
Astronomy, like there's scientific rigor into how we understand and how we know what we know now, you know, standing on the shoulders of giants, all the people who have studied it before us, and now we know and we can prove what they've studied is correct. It's very like factual.
I'm, from my point of view as an astrologer, like I'm like, yeah, no, things are definitely factual based, and like astrologers sat down and they've come to a common consensus of what things mean based off of where they're.
Just because a bunch of idiots sat down and said this is correct.
Guys, we're all in agreement, therefore we're correct.
Yeah.
What?
They all
Remember
have
when we all thought the Earth was flat, like, and we all agreed on that, like the 1500s? Just because we all agreed doesn't mean it's real, bro. You know?
Tell me this guy didn't get bumped on his head as a child. There's no shot, bro.
Placed, what energies are placed on them, that's what gives them more of the component of what the planet may mean.
I think, again, that's where the divide is, because when you guys could think certain things are fact, but I hear you keep bringing up that it's interpretation. So there's so many things going on way far away that we know about that, like you said, you don't really have the necessity to know about. I think that there's a lot of stuff that you guys interpret that we've disproven in a way, or that we've seen evidence for just going completely against it, negating your guys' points.
Oh no.
So I think that's kind of where that divide kind of comes from.
1 is the loneliest number. Yeah, I would never sit here and say that, you know, like you don't know what you're talking about. But also, like, I don't think you can fully understand anything. I think you can go to school, I think you can do the work, I think you can have a very good grasp on something, but you can never fully, like, we're talking about the stars and the universe and the planets here. You can't fully understand nothing in regards to that. You read
That's facts.
You read the cosmos.
Yep.
You understand.
I don't really like
all
how
of
the argument's being
sciencey
used,
things.
but
You
it's
said
totally fair.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, I was like, the character? Is he here right now? For me as an astrologer, I study the stars, yes, but I also study people. My job is to work with someone one-to-one.
Isn't that
I'm showing you what I
psychology?
see, but I'm also showing you what I see from you as a person.
Would you say astrology is more along the lines of like human psychology?
Psychology, yes, absolutely.
That's what I said.
Depending on the system that you are studying.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of means like that. What astrology is like for fulfillment, in terms of what benefits humankind. I mean, physics, astronomy literally brings us, you know, cell phones. That's practical. But we also, as human beings, like to have things like art, for example, music. I need music. If I didn't have music, then I might, you know. So it's kind of like there's a fulfillment thing, and I get that.
My belief is that balance is extremely important. And the way I see it, like logic and science and all of these things are one end of a spectrum. Like, to get a little spiritual, it's like yang energy. And
I thank God every day I wasn't born stupid. I thank God every day. Gonna recite a prayer right now. Thank you, God. I genuinely, I could not live like this. This is nuts to me. Whew, whew, all right.
and we're representing, in my opinion, a bit more of the yin energy, the human.
Oh, shut up. All right, that's it. We're done. I wish I was in this chair so I could scream at them. All right, that's it. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.